You just need to watch this video until the end. The reason is that today I am going to share with you how Jacob Zuma became a member of Umkhonto Wesizwe, but I need to share details before that, like place of birth and all the stuff and what happened then and how he served 10 years in Robben Island and went into hiding for a period of more than 15 years, right? But you need to understand his affiliation with Umkhonto Wesizwe, right? Because he was then arrested. He was arrested because he joined Umkhonto Wesizwe back then, and then he was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Then he served his prison time in Robben Island, where Mosi, famously known to be a place where Mandela was arrested. After that, he fled South Africa. He lived in countries such as Swaziland as well as Mozambique. Maybe that's why Tutuzane Zuma, that's how maybe he gave birth, or he got a mother of Tutuzane Zuma, because you will remember that Tutuzane Zuma's mother, she is a Mozambican. So in this history of Jacob Zuma, it explains that. But even then, when he was in Swaziland, he also, when he was in Mozambique and several other countries, he continued with the work of Umkhonto Wesizwe. So what I want from you is for you to watch this video until the end and understand how Jacob Zuma became a member of Umkhonto Wesizwe and where it started and how he spent his years, which is very important, right? And also what I want you guys to do is continuously suggest some of the information or videos that you will want me to do. I don't mind going down, doing the research for you, and then coming back with that information. So yes, that is exactly what I'm about to do. I'm about to take this journey where I'm going to share everything things that you didn't know about Jacob Zuma and his affiliation with Umkhonto Wesizwe. This is going to be a very informative and interesting video. As interesting as it is, it wouldn't be interesting unless you subscribe, like the video, comment in the comment section below. As nice as this video is, it will not be nice if you don't watch the video until the end, if you don't watch the ads, if you don't share this video. We have the responsibility, you and I have the responsibility to take this video to 100,000 views. You and I have got the responsibility to help to get more people to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Get the channel to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. You've got that responsibility. To those that have a bit of finance, the better way of donating to the channel is to join, become a member of this YouTube channel. The better way also of donating to the channel, make use of the button. There's a button called thanks. That's the best way you can donate to the channel, right? To those that wants to go a little bit further, I will share more details, right? But let me take you into this journey. Please do not mind me looking down, because obviously this is written research, so I need to look down as I read this research. I hope you don't mind, but it is very important to understand where is Jacob Zuma coming from. Right, personal, Jacob Zuma was born on the 12th of April 1942. You can calculate the years thereon. He was born at Enkandla, KwaZulu-Natal, South African province. His names, the following are his names: Jacob Gedlehlekisa Zuma. Now, his father was Gcina Amazwi Zuma, who was a police officer. His mother was Nobekisisa Besi, who was a domestic worker. Jacob Zuma's marriage history. Jacob Zuma was married, or I don't know if he still is even now, but some of the people that I'm going to name here, I'm not sure if he's still married to them or not, but some I know he's divorced to them, right? Number one is Bongingema. This happened in around 2012. Tobega Stacy Mapija around 2010. Mpumelelo Ntuli around 2008. Now this one, she's divorced. Nkosazana Gladys Dlamini, they were married from 1982 to 1988. Sorry, from 1982 to 1998. 1998 to 1988. So now you know her as Nkosazana Zuma Dlamini in the presidential office. She is heading the Department of Youth. And then Jacob Zuma was also married to Kate Manjo Zuma in 1976 to 2000 to the year 2000, which is said that she died, right? Then Jacob Zuma also was married to Gertrude Sizakele Kumalo in 1973. Jacob Zuma reportedly has about more than 20 children. Now, this is when now the history of Umkhonto Wesizwe becomes very important, right? A history that I promise you, this is where it starts. In 1962, Jacob Zuma became a member of Umkhonto Wesizwe, the spear of the nation, which was then the military arm of the ANC. So this happened in 1962. He became a member. In 1963, Jacob Zuma was arrested. He was arrested along with other members of Umkhonto Wesizwe, and subsequently they were convicted, and Jacob Zuma served 10 years in prison in a place called Robben Island. In 1975, Jacob Zuma fled South Africa and lived in exile for 15 years. He lived in countries such as Swaziland, Mozambique, Zambia, and other several countries while continuing with the work of the ANC. That was in 1975. In February 1990, President F.W. de Klerk lifted the ban on the ANC and other opposition groups, and Jacob Zuma returned to South Africa. Then ANC leadership and corruption charges. In 1990, at the local ANC, he became the first ANC in fact, there was what we call it the ANC First Regional Congress in KwaZulu-Natal province. Zuma was then elected as a chairperson of the South Africa of the Southern Natal region, and he takes the leading role in fighting violence in the group. This resulted in peace and accords between the ANC and Inkatha Freedom Party. In 1994, he was elected as the national chairperson of the ANC. Between 1997 to 2007, Jacob Zuma was elected as the deputy president of the ANC. In 1998 October, he received the Nelson Mandela Award of Outstanding Leadership. Between the year 1999 to 2005, he was a deputy president of South Africa. Right. Then from June 2 or the 2nd of June 2005, a South African court finds businessman Shabir Shaik guilty of bribing Zuma between 1995 to 2002. On 14 June 2005, President Thabo Mbeki fired Zuma over his alleged involvement in the Shabir Shaik scandal. On 6 December 2005, he was charged with raping a young female family friend, and he claimed the sex was consensual. He was then, on the 8th of May 2006, he was then acquitted on that case. On September the 5th in 2006, he was brought to trial and charged with corruption for allegedly accepting bribe from French armed company Tini Holdings. This is the case that is ongoing, but remember, it started on the 5th of September 2006, right? If history is to be believed. On the 20th of September 2006, the corruption charges were dismissed by the court after numerous extensions by the prosecutor to build the state case. So this is the first time you see Jacob Zuma being charged, and then later on the charges were withdrawn. That was then in 2006. The case was dismissed. Then fast forward between 2007 to 2017, he was the president of the ANC. December the 28th, 2007, new corruption charges were brought against Jacob Zuma, along with accounts of racketeering and money laundering. On the 1st of May, that was in 2007, right? 2007 on the 28th of December. But on the 1st of May 2008, named one of the, look, he was named among or as one of the most influential people in the, look, is it in the country or in the world? But yeah, he was one of the, I think in the world, he was one of the, he was listed among 100 most influential people, right? That was the 1st of May 2008. On the 12th of September 2008, corruption charges against Jacob Zuma are tossed about by the court, and the second time, this time on the local procedural ground. In other words, on the 12th of September 2008, charges were dropped on the second time, right? So it's the second time we heard that Jacob Zuma's charges were dropped. Second time, please note that, second time. January the 12th, 2009, the Supreme Court of Appeal overturns the lower court ruling that threw out the corruption charges against Jacob Zuma, stating that the ruling was kingled with errors. The new ruling means that the National Prosecuting Authority can press new charges against Jacob Zuma. On 6 April 2009, prosecutors dropped all the corruption charges against Zuma. Now you have about 3 times now charges being dropped against Jacob Zuma on 2009, right? Then on the 26th of April 2009, the ANC wins a majority of votes in South Africa's elections, ensuring that Jacob Zuma will be the country's next president. So he became the president. On the 9th of May 2009, Jacob Zuma was inaugurated as the president of South Africa. February 2020, Zuma admits to fathering a child out of a wedlock with a daughter of the head of South Africa's World Cup Organization Committee. If I'm not mistaken here, I think this daughter is a daughter of Ivan Khoza. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? December 2010, Zuma files for about, millions and millions, right? Defamation lawsuit over 2008 political cartoon, which portrayed him raping a female figure, symbolizing justice, right? On 20 March 2012, the Supreme Court of Appeal rules that the Democratic Alliance and an opposition party can challenge a previous court decision to drop corruption against Jacob Zuma. Remember that at this point of the video, Jacob Zuma had local charges has been dropped 3 times. Now the Democratic Alliance were having a go against Jacob Zuma, and they were trying to get him arrested. On the 7th of May 2014, Zuma secured a second term as a president, with the ANC winning the majority of the vote. He then became the president. 31st of March 2016, the South African Constitutional Court ruled that Jacob Zuma defied the constitution when he used 246 million rand in his house. It was the improvement that he did at Umkhonto. Do you remember that story? Umkhonto, right? On the 29th of April 2016, South African court rules that the prosecutors acted irrationally when they decided to drop more than 700 charges and fraud charges against Jacob Zuma in 2009. The court says the decision should be set aside and reviewed. It remains up to the prosecutors whether to reinstate the charges. Okay, now it was open again. But on the 2nd of November 2016, a report containing corruption allegation against Jacob Zuma is published. It was about 355 pages. The state capture report contains allegations and, in some instances, evidence of those things, when it was completed. So it was completed recently, not long ago, right? But it's okay. But then, look, let's go for a little bit forward. On 10th of November 2016, Zuma avoided a vote of no confidence in a parliament with about 214 votes against the motion. He won it, yes, he survived. And at the time where he survived this, he survived it third time where the Democratic had brought this, look, in a year they brought it 3 times consecutively, and Jacob Zuma won that or those vote of no confidence 3 consecutive times, right? 29 November 2016, members of the ANC says that Zuma will not step down as the president despite calls from the people within ANC saying that Jacob Zuma must resign. 8 August 2017, a motion of no confidence in Zuma was defeated by 198 out of 177. Even though the ballot was held in parliament by secret vote, the opposition was not able to persuade enough members of the ANC to vote against Jacob Zuma. 13 October 2017, the South African Supreme Court of Appeal uphold the decision that was handed down on April 2016, ruling by the High Court to reinstate corruption charges against Jacob Zuma. Right, February 13, 2018, the ANC announces a recall of Jacob Zuma, demanding the resignation. Right. On February 14, 2018, then Jacob Zuma resigned. Now we are now going down to a bit of a prison journey, Yaga Jacob Zuma, which is also quite interesting. It's quite interesting, right? On the 16 March 2018, South Africa's National Prosecuting Authority announced that Jacob Zuma will be charged with 16 counts of corruption, money laundering, and ricocheting. That was on 16 March. 4 February 2020, South African judge issued Zuma a warrant of arrest after he failed to appear to face charges in the long-running corruption case. I do remember this case. I seriously remember this case. I also remember the Jacob Zuma Foundation responding to this. I honestly remember this. Jacob Zuma, I think it was said that he was in Russia. He was being treated in Russia. But this is quite interesting, isn't it? Right? We are just following where Zuma started with Umkhonto Wesizwe, but then we are also following the journey of Jacob Zuma, going all throughout the country, just making sure that we know exactly who Jacob Zuma is. Okay, so now let's move from 4th of February 2020. Let's now fast forward to February 2021. A South African inquiry into high-level graft allegation against Zuma from 2009 to 2018 is asking that the former president be imprisoned for 2 years after he ignored a court summons to appear and give testimony. In the Constitutional Court application seen by Reuters, the state capture inquiry seeks an order to hold Zuma in contempt of court. Zuma denies the allegation and refused to cooperate with the inquiry. On June 2020, on 29th of June 2021, South Africa's highest court finds Zuma guilty of contempt of court and sentenced him to 15 months in prison. On the 3rd of July 2021, South Africa's top court agrees to hear Zuma's application for a review of their decision. In the application, Zuma and his lawyer claim that the 15 months of prison sentence threatens his life and that that the Constitutional Court decision is unfair. The Constitutional Court hearing will took place on July the 12th, right? On the 4th of July 2021, at a press conference at his homestead in Umkhonto, Zuma likens the treatment to apartheid era detention without a trial. Things like this, detention without a trial, should never see the light of the day in South Africa. These are the words from Jacob Zuma. He continues to say, the struggle for a free South Africa was a struggle for justice that everyone was treated equally before the law, right? Fast forward then, we are moving from Jacob Zuma launching that appeal on the 3rd of July. I've told you what he said on the 4th of July. Now I'm going to tell you what happened on the 7th of July, same year, 2021. Zuma then handed himself over to the police to begin serving his 15-month sentence, 15 months prison sentence for contempt of court. You remember what happened then? Hey, I don't need to remind you the July and this thing that is termed now July unrest, but it's okay. 6 August 2021 is admitted to an outside hospital where he undergoes surgeries for an undisclosed illness. And on about 5 September 2021, the government's Correctional Service Department says Zuma has been released from prison on medical parole due to his ill health. But then, fast forward, same year, 2021, a lot of things happened in 2021 about Zuma, right? On 15th of December 2021, the Gauteng High Court in South Africa rules that the decision to place Zuma on medical parole was unlawful and that Zuma needs to be returned to custody to serve the remainder of his sentence. Zuma will be allowed to appeal, or was allowed to appeal the ruling. That was on the 15th of December 2021. We are now entering 2022. Now let's fast forward now. On 7th of October, South Africa's Correctional Service Department announced that Zuma is released from prison. Right? You know what happened there. Okay, it's fine. Let's go on a little bit now. On the 21st of November, 2022, South African Supreme Court of Appeal rules that Zuma should return to prison, saying that the decision to release Zuma on medical parole was unlawful. Hey, oh my God, umesetige Tito was a church go. But then we know history happened. South Africa wrote its own history because then Zuma got what we call it presidential pardon. When he got what we call it presidential pardon, he technically did not receive the letter from the presidential office, being that of Ramaphosa, as he was going down to prison to hand himself again. That's what we were told. So he goes down, he's going to prison to serve the remainder of his sentence, right? He gets to prison. Just when he enters prison, he got told that there's a letter that has just arrived which says that he has now received a presidential pardon. So he doesn't even go to the cell, he doesn't even get admitted, he just goes straight into the offices, get that letter, sign the letter, and then goes back to the car and then drive off. Didn't spend even an hour in the office, right? We also know what happened when Jacob Zuma was arrested, which was the July unrest, where things became so chaotic, especially between Johannesburg, Gauteng, and KwaZulu-Natal. We have seen malls being looted, and mostly the target became shopping malls. You remember all of that. But also, what is so interesting is the fact that Jacob Zuma has spent more than 15 years out of this country. He was in exile. He lived in countries such as Swaziland, Mozambique, Zambia. No wonder, I also reminded you guys that it makes sense now that that's where he actually met with the mother of Duduzane Zuma. Now you understand the history, because Duduzane Zuma was also on a certain podcast where he confirmed that yes, his mother is a Mozambican, and he also knows, I think he knows a bit of the Mozambican language, right? Having said that, then it takes us back to say the cause of all of this is the fact that Jacob Zuma became a member of Umkhonto Wesizwe. So he's out of the country as a result of him being affiliated with Umkhonto Wesizwe. Now, having given you all this interesting history about Jacob Zuma, where he comes from and how he got arrested and all the stuff, I want you guys to get into the comment section below. I want you guys to be the one that now tell me, have you found this interesting? How interesting was this video? Who else do you want me to profile? You know what I'm saying? I don't mind following their journey as well, and I don't mind following their journey. It is so interesting to learn about these people. And I think it's a noble thing to do so, understand their history, where they have been, why they have been there, and then it explains a lot of things that they are doing in this country. I've done a video about Jacob Zuma doing things in this country. If you now want us to profile more people, please feel free. Use my public WhatsApp number. You can send articles. Please do not say, hi, who, we. Don't. Just go straight to the point, because there are hundreds and hundreds of people that are using that WhatsApp number. So when you send me a WhatsApp there, just go straight to the point. Hi, Bongane. I would like you to look at this, have a look at this article as well. It speaks about this and this and this, and that's it. And then I'm going to take that article and I'm going to do the best thing that I can do, which is to share the information on my YouTube channel. Having said everything that I've just said now, guys, the power is in your hands. Make sure that this video gets to Jacob Zuma. I want to interview Jacob Zuma. So please make sure that I get to interview Jacob Zuma. So whosoever knows Jacob Zuma, there are questions that have emanated from the history that I've been reading about Jacob Zuma. So I would love to sit in a probably 1 hour podcast, to our podcast where we talk more about that. But also, if you know members of the of Zuma family, I would also like to talk to the likes of I would like to talk to the likes of about Duduzile Zuma. I would like to talk to them and hear what, because they've lost their father. From then he was in Robben Island, from Robben Island to spend 10 years, and then he left the country and he was in other countries, near neighboring countries, So I would love to know how it affected this person. I would also like to know how this has affected about Duduzane Zuma, because it probably would be difficult to grow without their father. Their father is always on the run, you know what I'm saying? So I would like to talk to the likes of about Duduzane Zuma. I would like to hear from them, you know what I'm saying? So if you know those people, do me a favor, guys. Do me a favor. Just make sure that you tell them that I would love to interview them. So I've got WhatsApp number here. Please do the right thing. Just take that WhatsApp now. Give me a message there and say that, yeah, you can interview them. Then I will organize an interview with them. And also, you will have a share. Then you will have to tell me what questions you will want me to ask them. But particularly from my perspective, it's these questions and how they grew up without their father. And also, if it was possible, I would have interviewed Jacob Zuma's wives as well, how they lived with Jacob Zuma because he was on the run and all the stuff. I would like to interview the likes of Nkosazana Zuma Dlamini, who were married to Jacob Zuma. I would love to find out from them, how life was being married to a person that you can't be seen, you can't walk with that person in public, because the moment you do that, anything can happen. You can just people can just, you know what I'm saying? You will see vans around you and you get arrested. And how difficult it is to live with or to get married to such a person that you can't have him fully, he's always on the run. I would love to sit down and talk to people like that. Who else do you wish I should include on the list of people that I should talk to? It's probably going to be possible, because they will be out there during this time, especially the likes of Jacob Zuma. They are out there during the campaign, the campaigning period. Maybe that's the time where we will have enough time to talk to them and have a conversation with them. I don't know. But one thing I know is that my videos get to be watched by a lot of people. So because of that, I'm definitely sure that there is a person that knows Jacob Zuma. There is a person that knows Nkosazana Zuma Dlamini. There's a person that knows Duduzane Zuma, Duduzile Zuma, and you name them. Kukuletu Zuma Ncube, the one who owns Uzalo, Stained Glass Production. I'd also like to talk to that lady as well. You know what I'm saying? Let's just explore and understand all of this from their perspective. It's easy for Jacob Zuma to say to us whatever he's going to say, because we need to have him as well. Who else do you want me to interview as well, and which questions will you like me to ask? But I think President Ramaphosa is going to be difficult to get, or President Ramaphosa. So we are left with Kgalema Motlanthe and Thabo Mbeki. Those are the people that I think as well. I want to focus on them. I want to profile them. Guys, please help me here, just to shout out to cry out loud. I've been trying to find information about Ramaphosa as to the things that he has done ever since he took his office, right? I'm trying to compile that research. It's been a bit difficult. I'm trying to compare what he has done, because he's now gonna look 2024. We are now voting, so that means 5 years has gone by, right? So I'm really interested to know the things that he has done for South Africa. We're talking of the investment, bad and good. So if you happen to know such information, do not hesitate. Just go to my WhatsApp. Please do not say a lot of messages. Just go to my WhatsApp and send such articles if you know, and then I will do the right thing. I will go through that article and I will do the right thing. I will create a video out of it. Yeah, I think that's it for me, guys. Please make sure that you take this video to 100,000 views. Please make sure that you take this channel to 10,000 subscribers. I will highly appreciate that. Guys, I love you. I'll see you on the next one. But until then, please take care.